Anime music videos, or AMVs, are music videos made with anime. I know, right? Shocker.
Yeah, no shit, Sherlock!
Now, I'm not the guy to be talking about AMVs. I can barely name 20 off the top of my head, and if you're watching this video, you likely are too. You also most likely consume mainly anime, and you most likely don't give a shit about AMVs. But imagine for a second, it's the 2010s, and you're on anime YouTube. There's Giga, there's Mother's Basement, hell, it was even when Super Eyepatch Wolf was still making videos about anime. But besides all these AniTubers out in the wild, on the flip side of the coin, there was the abridged anime community, roaming around doing their own business. Now, if you turn the coin 90 degrees, right on the edge, those were the manga readers, hiding in plain sight. But you might be wondering, well, what about the AMV community? Well, if you take another coin, and another coin, and another coin, and a few more coins, then multiply them by 10, those were the people part of the AMV community. Like locusts in the summer, they exploded in population over the course of the 2010s. Music video after music video after music video were posted just about everywhere on YouTube. Anyways, looking at the AniTube sphere today, only one question remains. What exactly is the state of AMVs now? But before we get to that question, let's rewind a bit, back to the early 2000s. Although AMVs were being created before YouTube itself, it was in the early 2000s that formed and established AMVs as its own separate medium. Although they were basically 180p anime clips, really high quality, weren't they? On a 4:3 aspect ratio being played over a catchy tune, for the Western anime community at the time, they were all hits. The combination of the music and the visuals enabled AMV creators to tell a story of sorts, which is what I think made it such a hit in the first place. It's like mixing some random foods together that for no reason whatsoever goes hard.
Finally, some good fucking food.
And like fast food commercials, for a majority of Western audiences, anime is treated primarily as a purely visual experience, but because of its language barrier. I think that for overseas fans, especially those watching anime in Japanese, we are more receptive to the visuals of the show because we don't understand the language, which is why today cool rapid fire fight scenes are so popular overseas compared to shows that focus primarily on intimate dialogue. And you can see this when comparing the popularity of Evangelion and Jujutsu Kaisen. No one's spoiling Evangelion, but somehow JJK always ends up being spoiled faster than a gacha player can pull out their credit card. The point is, with anime, let's be real. Sometimes all it takes is pretty visuals to stimulate the mind of an average weeb because it's easier to notice compared to the subtleties of voice acting or music. To put it differently, we fall in love with the anime style. Now, this is where AMVs come into play. By isolating the visual aspects of anime and combining it with the music we love, it further enhances our emotional response, as it's not only the visuals that are conveying emotion, but the music as well. Fast forward a few years later and anime music videos have exploded onto the scene. From different styles to creative approaches, the time around 2010 was the golden period for AMVs. Kolpiskiva, sorry I kinda butchered that, I know.
Hell no, man.
Kevin Cadwell and Nostromo were at the top of their game, producing high quality videos with their exploding creativity. It was around this time where various styles of making AMVs came to be. The videos became more varied, both in their editing approach and their theming. But whether it was action-packed sequences, emotional montages, or character-focused edits, these AMVs captured the hearts of millions of anime fans in the community. But the one that especially did was Naruto and his best friend, Sasuke. During the late 2000s and early 2010s, Naruto vs Sasuke AMVs became the craze in the community. People would spend countless summer days messing around with a constantly bugged Windows Movie Maker client, making these shitty AMVs about two kids fighting each other over some edgy song. And as cringe as it sounds today, back in the day, it was all I could think of. Naruto AMVs in general were a core part of the anime music video culture, but the amount of Naruto vs Sasuke AMVs specifically were what truly solidified this. It was what truly solidified Naruto AMVs as a separate genre, as shocking as that sounds.
Surprise, motherfucker!
And it was always to Linkin Park or some other edgy and hype music. Why? Well, I don't know, I'm not the AMV man, why would I know? But I think it simply comes down to the fact that this kind of music resonated with a generation of young, socially awkward anime fans who bottled up their feelings of anger and angst, and pairing their favorite show with music gave them an outlet to express their emotions and passion for the medium. The AMVs were relatable to their struggles. It was in a way a self-insert, because when all else fails in real life, there is always delusion. Ah, that sweet, sweet delusion. Fast forward a few years later, AMV creators became more ambitious with their edits, producing more challenging works that truly demonstrated their composition skills. From simple match cutting to high energy transitions to spamming bright visual effects to whatever this is, AMVs became more and more varied. Some of them look like it would have taken 10 years to make. Now, more than simply splicing together cool anime clips, they were becoming truly commendable pieces of art. People became more innovative with how they approached the production process. More masking, more effects, more details, and it would take the community by storm, fostering an entirely separate community of new AMV creators. But this brings me to the other side of AMV creation during this time. A more sophisticated practice, making anime shitposts. I think we can all attribute this rise of anime memes to Baka Oppai's Anime 404. Meme culture on the internet during the 2010s was just on the rise, so for many, seeing something like this for the first time, it was the peak of comedy. Yeah, it all goes downhill from here. For whatever reason, these kinds of videos became massively popular outside of the anime community as well. If I could describe these videos with one word, it would be absolute chaos. That was 2 words, but you get the idea. Videos that defied logic or reason, just some random shit put together for no inherent meaning other than hee hee, that's funny. Yet, they resonated with millions of anime fans worldwide and brought so many people into the AMV community. It was truly our anime music video. Okay, I'll stop. But aside from my horrible joke, this brings me to AMVs today. Although there are still AMV competitions, posts, and new creators, the undeniable part is that it just isn't the same. Although the community is still active, you can't say that it still is what it once was. Times have changed, and a lot of creators have moved on from making AMVs. These days, I'm sure you can find some newer anime fans who couldn't even tell you what an AMV is. And even if they could tell you, there's a chance it'll just be a fucking TikTok edit. But despite the decline in popularity and the lack of attention the community gets, there is still one thing that hasn't changed. And that is the use of AMVs to convey emotion and passion. For the past 20 years, anime music videos have been used by anime fans to express and share their passion for this medium. And today, that hasn't changed. It's what I felt growing up as a socially awkward kid in school with no one to talk to. I had no friends that would talk to me about anime, so making and watching videos like these was the only outlet I had. It still blows my mind to this day seeing some of the AMVs released back then. From Pencilhead to Skittles to Anime's Got Talent, these were videos that were able to reach a generation of anime fans. When you grow older, more mature, there are some things that you let go of because it's not for you anymore. But there are other things that you keep close to you because you couldn't imagine yourself being you without it. For me, this was AMVs. They were as important to me as anime and manga were. And despite losing their charm of the 2000s and the 2010s, to me, I can't imagine myself not looking at the community fondly. It was an integral part of my journey as an anime fan, and I'm sure for many others as well. I wanted to make this video to share my love for AMVs, but to also say thank you to everyone in the AMV community. Or it could all be nostalgia. What do I know?